iconic comedy show, the puppet satire Spitting Image was back, but this time he is being mercilessly, ruthlessly mocked.
What happens when the woman who built an entire empire on privacy becomes the punchline of a late-night puppet show seen by millions? Oh, Meghan, are you seriously trying to act like we're not talking about you right now? The puppet sneers, don't talk to me like that, I'm a duchess. And just like that, Meghan Markle's carefully crafted public image comes crashing down. The Duchess of Montecito, once a picture of royal grace, got roasted alive on live TV. Spitting Image didn't just mock her comeback, they obliterated it. Can you imagine the humiliation? After spending years preaching about truth and healing, Meghan is now upstaged by a puppet that is somehow more convincing than she ever was. She was paraded as the champion of authenticity
that people do with pineapple. Instead of just cutting it, make the perfect little bite. You follow the wedge.
Yet here comes a puppet acting out her entire career in front of the world. The sheer irony. Meghan spent nearly a decade fighting for her narrative, only to be laughed at by latex and felt. This is what happens when you build a persona so carefully constructed on image. One wrong step and it's shattered to pieces. Here's the cold truth. Meghan, the world's most image-obsessed duchess, strutted back into Hollywood like she was the second coming of the Devil Wears Prada.
Don't talk to me like that, you bitch! I'm a fucking duchess!
Only this time, the critics weren't buying it. In a matter of days, Spitting Image delivered 4 savage parodies that had her Netflix team hiding behind their organic fair trade lattes. This wasn't satire anymore. No, this was a full-blown public intervention. Each sketch cut deeper than the last. Megan Sussex auditioning for clout like she was still on Suits. Meghan bragging about skills she forgot she even had. The puppet had more authenticity than she did. Then came the Jaws parody. We're going to need a bigger house. Yeah, right. No joke.
Hello, followers. You know little old me is a high-profile, high-success, global brand-creating, vulnerable, and humble business leader.
Irony and sarcasm were flying all over social media. Clips went viral in minutes. People laughed. They cried. They couldn't believe what they were watching. Fans cried bullying, while critics called it pure art. And then Meghan, she said nothing. Not a single royal syllable. No statement, no outrage, just silence. And let me tell you, that silence, it hit harder than any punchline ever could. The silence was louder than anything she could have said. Why? Because it made everyone wonder, is this how Meghan Markle handles the heat? By pretending it doesn't exist? The silence spoke volumes. But don't worry, this is just the beginning. Oh, it's about to get much messier. Every detail matters, and we're diving deep into the parts Meghan's PR team can't spin. Let's break this down. The truth? It's brutal. Meghan Markle, always the self-proclaimed authentic business mogul, returned to Hollywood like a hero walking into a storm. Here she was, surrounded by lavender rescue chickens and PR advisors whispering sweet affirmations. I'm a global leader, she said. But behind the scenes, you know it was all about Hollywood rebranding. Her grand comeback had begun. She's been absent from Hollywood for longer than most influencer marriages last. Now she's ready to reclaim her throne. But what did she come back to? A reality check. Meghan's little empire, built on truth and authenticity, is crumbling. Everyone's waiting for the perfect comeback, but Hollywood's casting directors aren't ready for her. They're not buying into her rebranding. It's too much risk. Her comeback is starting to look like a desperate attempt for relevance. Meghan had planned her comeback, but the British comedy legends behind Spitting Image had something else in mind. They took her first public appearance and used it as a free-for-all comedy sketch. It wasn't just parody anymore, it was personal. The moment she hit the red carpet, the puppets hit back even harder. The clips were everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, X, your aunt's Facebook feed, all poking fun at the Duchess of Montecito. From taxi driver references to Jaws parodies, Spitting Image didn't just roast her, they ripped her Hollywood revival apart. Fans couldn't stop laughing. The parody showed her in her finest light, or rather in the most ridiculous one. Puppet Meghan was dressed in luxury gear, shouting, "We're going to need a bigger house." The internet lost its mind. Critics couldn't believe how accurate it all was. was. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get worse, Spitting Image dropped a Taken parody. The puppet Meghan wearing her luxury ensemble, channeling Liam Neeson's iconic line, "I have a very particular set of skills." But instead of saving anyone, she was talking about her skills as an actress. Everyone couldn't stop laughing. Writing stuff on bananas, the puppet joke. Yes, that's right. The banana reference, where the real Meghan had written messages on fruit for charity workers in 2019, was now twisted into pure mockery. The internet went crazy. Everyone from regular users to verified celebs joined in on the joke. Some called it iconic British satire, others labeled it a national obsession. But there was one thing no one could deny: Meghan had officially become content. Not an actress, not a duchess, just a walking, breathing meme. With each clip, Meghan's brand and carefully constructed persona were ripped to shreds. The world's most overproduced PR project was suddenly exposed as nothing more than an overexposed joke. Meghan Markle had transitioned from Hollywood darling to the punchline of a joke. And the worst part? Her silence. The internet, along with her PR team, waited for some kind of reaction, but it never came. The world had already chosen its side, and that side wasn't Meghan's. The silence was deafening. Was she really going to let this pass without a word? That silence, people, was a statement in itself. And let's be real, it hit harder than any PR statement could. Because silence in the face of comedy is a disaster. It makes the joke even more painful. But in the end, Spitting Image did more than just parody Meghan Markle. It held up a mirror. And that mirror reflected a woman whose attempts at reinvention were doomed from the start. Her Hollywood dreams shattered in latex and sarcasm. Now, after everything, you'd think the critics would come rushing to her defense, wouldn't you? Wrong. Instead, they joined in. The Times dropped a verbal sledgehammer, starting with the harsh line, "I've had more fun with hemorrhoids." Oh yes, that wasn't just a review, that was a career obituary with footnotes. Meghan Markle, the woman who carefully crafted herself as the world's most relatable, self-aware duchess, found herself buried under a pile of savage commentary. Her PR team, no doubt scrambling, probably hoped for a miracle, but it didn't come. Critics made it clear Meghan Markle had already beaten satire to it. Her own life, from jam making to podcast flopping, was more absurd than anything puppets could dream up. The real Meghan Markle was funnier than any sketch. That's a harsh reality for someone whose entire career has been built on crafting a perfect image. And here's the kicker: Spitting Image didn't destroy her comeback, it just exposed the truth everyone was too scared to say. Meghan Markle's life had become the punchline. The more she tried to elevate her image, the harder the internet slapped it back down. The irony was too much to ignore. Meghan Markle, once the face of privacy, truth, and authenticity, had now become a global meme. The internet had taken her carefully curated brand and tossed it into the trash. But here's where it gets even more poetic. Hollywood, that glitzy place where dreams come true, wasn't buying into her redemption tour. Oh no, they were watching, all right, but not in the way Meghan hoped. Her PR team was now handling crisis mode, while she stayed suspiciously quiet. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no cryptic quotes about rising above negativity, just pure, deafening silence. Let's be clear, Meghan knows what happens when she speaks out. Suing a puppet show, that's PR suicide. And even her lawyers, they probably told her, "We can't take legal action against foam and felt." Now, the silence became her strategy. It's almost impressive. Meghan Markle, the queen of public statements, chose to let the jokes fly and avoid the chaos. And just when we thought the saga couldn't get worse, Meghan's own actions became the punchline. Her PR team worked overtime, but still, they couldn't salvage her image. The world had already moved on. They weren't looking for a celebrity anymore. They were looking for someone to laugh at. With every passing day, Meghan's silence grew louder. Her PR team may have been drowning in damage control calls, but Meghan was steadfast in her refusal to react. She knew better than to feed the monster of public opinion, but in doing so, she allowed the joke to write itself. And oh, did the internet love it. Social media exploded with memes, jabs, and endless parodies. People edited puppets of Meghan into the crown, gave her an Oscar for Best Victim Performance, and turned her into a permanent fixture in the meme world. But don't be fooled, this wasn't just harmless fun. This was a lesson in overexposure. Hollywood doesn't forgive those who push their brand into every corner without results. And behind the scenes, producers started whispering. Meghan, once the it girl of Hollywood, was now seen as a PR grenade in a designer dress. Translation, the Duchess of Montecito, who dreamed of red carpets, might now be walking straight into the Hollywood blacklist. Meghan had crossed from royal fame into the murky waters of The Office Windsor edition. Every move she made, every attempt at rebranding was another headline waiting to happen. She became a walking tabloid. Hollywood doesn't care about your titles or your charity work when your name's always trending for the wrong reasons. But here's the bitter truth no one wants to admit. Spitting Image might have just done what no critic, no royal family member, and no scandal could ever do. It made Hollywood collectively roll its eyes. The dream of a royal comeback wasn't the headline Meghan had imagined. Instead, it was an endless loop of jokes, memes, and parodies, and she couldn't escape it. This, folks, is what happens when your PR machine goes off the rails. When you've crafted an image so perfect that any flaw is magnified by the spotlight. Meghan Markle is no longer the royal who left for creative freedom. She's the celebrity who got caught in a meme spiral. And trust me, once you're in that world, there's no escaping it. Hollywood has one rule: if you're bad for business, you're out. And Meghan Markle is quickly becoming bad business. Every interview, every casting, it's all a headline. Every time her name pops up, people don't think of a duchess or humanitarian, they think of the puppet. They think of the banana quotes, the ironic self-awareness. And in Hollywood, that's the kiss of death. Meghan Markle's comeback isn't just falling apart, it's becoming a cautionary tale for anyone daring to rebrand themselves in the public eye. She's a living, breathing lesson in how overexposure, even for a royal, can turn from a dream to a nightmare. And you know what's even worse? She'll never live this down. The more she tries to rewrite her story, the more people laugh at the version she can't control. And as the dust settles, the puppets are still there, poking fun. Hollywood's refusal to take her seriously isn't because of her past, it's because her brand has become a joke. And no amount of silence can undo that. In the end, Meghan Markle may have thought she was escaping the royal spotlight, but what she didn't realize was that the only thing worse than being royal is becoming the punchline. Her comeback was never going to be the triumph she envisioned. Instead, it was the ultimate fall from grace. And now it's too late to change the script. Late to change the script. Late to change the script. Late